Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is just around the corner, and it has the same director as one of my favorite movies, and in the trailers, seems to have a very similar vibe to one of my favorite movies, The Fifth Element. And that's all the excuse I need to dive into The Fifth Element and do a theological analysis.
Multipass. Luc Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Multipass. You know this multipass. Luc Dallas, my wife. We're newlyweds. Just met.
Multipass.
You know how it is. Bump into each other, sparks happen. Yeah, she knows it's a multipass.
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my theological analysis for The Fifth Element, which, to me, it's just wonderfully weird and extremely fun. So, spoilers ahead, and if you haven't seen this movie, I do have the link to it in my description through my Amazon Associates account. So, if you check out the movie through that link, you will be supporting Durbania, and I will be extremely grateful. The premise of The Fifth Element is extremely interesting. Every 5,000 years, these three planets align, which opens a portal. Through that portal comes evil, physically manifested into our physical universe.
I will be among you soon.
And its goal is to come to Earth to be in this right place at the right time so that it could destroy all life. So our goal is to get love into that right place at that right time so the divine light can be unleashed to drive evil back and therefore protect all life. So right from the get-go, the premise of this movie is declaring something about love. In fact, it's declaring something about love in the very title of the movie, The Fifth Element. It's saying love is more than just chemicals in the body. It's more than just, sweet feelings and emotions. It's more than that. It's saying love is an element, a physical element, just like fire, just like water, just like earth, just like wind. In fact, you get to the opening of this movie and you see all four elements surrounding a person. So it goes even further than love is just an element. Love is a person. And more than just that, it is the supreme being. Love is a perfect person. They make a great big hoopla about this throughout the whole beginning of this movie. That Lilu, who is basically love in this movie, she is perfect. Her genetic structure is perfect. She is a supreme being. Everything about her is perfect. They again and again and yet again emphasize she is perfect.
She is perfect.
So it has to be that way. So if you really look at it, the premise of this movie is this. You have love, which is the perfect person, a supreme being, who descends from the heavens to the earth at just the right time to be in just the right place, to unleash the divine light, to drive back physical evil so that life itself can be protected. Such an awesome plot. So that's one of the big things that it says in this movie. Love is a person. The next big thing that this movie says is love is a choice. At least this is something I read into it as I'm watching it, that love is a choice. And I get that because as you go through the movie and they go to Floston's paradise, they're trying to get the four stones for the four elements, and Zorg shows up on that cruise ship and he's shooting up where Lilu is and she's diving into the vents to hide from him, bullets flailing around her, and I think she gets wounded. I mean, I don't know. Very fearful moment. Very traumatic for her. So she's been learning about human history alphabetically, A to Z, catching up on the last 5,000 years that she's missed. So after this traumatic experience, they're leaving Floston's paradise. They're trying to get back to Egypt, to get back to the temple, so that they could get Lilu where she needs to be, so that she could defeat evil. She then hits W. And W is war. Now here's why I say love is a choice. Because 1 Corinthians 13 talks about love holding no record of wrongs. And that is a choice, because we can choose to hold a record of wrongs against people, but the Bible declares what love is. Love is something that makes this choice to hold no record of wrongs. Now we see she gets faced with that choice, and she gets faced with the temptation to hold a record of wrongs because she starts to discover what war is. She's just had this horrible traumatic experience with Zorg. Now she's looking what war is. I mean, as we get on through this movie, she starts saying, why should I protect life when I see what you do with it? She talks about how you create things just to destroy. She can't help but see the hypocrisy in humanity. She can't help but see the darkness that lives in our hearts. So now she's disillusioned and she's faced with the choice. Is she going to look at the worst in us and hold that against us and let evil come in and destroy everything? Or is she going to forgive and thus through that forgiveness unleash the divine light and save the world? So this is where we get to the next point here, where not only is love a person, not only is love a choice, but we get to this part here where love is a sacrifice. When you look at Corbin Dallas, his role in this movie was extremely important because while she was love itself, she needed to be loved. Love itself loves and seeks love in return, right? So that's what love is. It's a give, it's a take, it's a sacrifice. And so Corbin, he's already loved. He's already been married and his wife left him. He's hurt. He's wounded. The idea of making himself vulnerable like that again, putting himself out there like that again, it's a fearful thought. But now he's got to make a choice. He's got to make a sacrifice. And that sacrifice is to get beyond his fear and make himself vulnerable again. Putting himself out there where he can be hurt like that again and be rejected again. But it's a chance that he has to take because his role here is too crucial. He has to love her. It's not this ethereal concept. It's deeply personal and it's intimate. So that kind of personal love and relationship where she was loving Corbin, but now Corbin finally puts himself on the line and makes himself vulnerable and says it.
I love you.
When you look at what love is. When you look at Jesus, where it says God is love, and he, the perfect supreme being, comes to our earth at just the right time in our history. God in the flesh, love in the flesh. I mean, my gosh, the people that were killing him and nailing him to that cross, he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. He looked at the worst in humanity and did not hold that against humanity. He knew the full darkness, but he made a choice. There's Jesus, God in the flesh, love himself, making a conscious choice to hold no record of wrongs, and then to sacrifice himself, all for the joy set before him. He endured the cross. In other words, for the joy set before him, this was deeply personal. Again, love was not ethereal, it was personal. That sacrifice, it was for you. It was for me. That sacrifice to protect life, to save life, to bring us into a relationship with him and have none of our wrongs held against us. It was a conscious choice that he made because each and every single one of us was that precious to him, and love was that much of a personal thing to him. So when I watch The Fifth Element, that's something that I see portrayed very clearly. Love, the perfect and supreme being, steps into our world at just the right time in our history for the ultimate sacrifice to save mankind from evil and to protect life. What did you think of The Fifth Element? If you saw it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. While you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click that bell. That way you'll be notified the moment I drop new videos. Check out my other videos like War for the Planet of the Apes review. I did a Spider-Man ranking video. I got trailer reactions and all kinds of things here, so make sure you check all that out. Like and share this video. I'm Durbin. Thank you for checking out Durbania.